Hello ladies and gentlemen, today's video is going to be going over the ownership costs for my first year with my Lotus Elise 220 Cup. We're going to split this video into three sections. We're going to be doing on the road costs, which is like insurance and tax and things like that. Then we're going to be looking at the maintenance costs, what I've spent maintaining the vehicle over the course of the year, so servicing and additional parts costs and things like that. And then lastly, we're going to be looking at miscellaneous costs, so price for mods and any additional things that have been bought for the car, such as car covers and other things like that. So stay tuned, and hopefully you'll learn something new today, and that perhaps owning something as cool as this isn't quite as scary as it may seem. Okay, so for section number one, I wanted to talk about insurance, on the road costs, tax and things like that. So for the first year of insurance, I paid £1,089. That was with Hastings Direct, didn't go with a specialist as at the time didn't have a locked, secure location to keep this, I just had to live on the drive. And then the renewed cost this year, now that it's living in a more secure facility, it's gone down £10, seeing as insurance premiums have gone up this last year or so. I think a reduction of £10 is pretty good, so we paid about £1,078. The first tax year when I picked up the car was £180, which for the sort of car that this is, I think that's pretty damn good. But I've got the renewed V11 here, and for 12 months tax, I guess the tax rules changed back in April or something, but it's now £305 to tax this car for the year. So we've recently just paid that. So now we're looking on to section 2, which is maintenance and other additional costs. Okay, so section 2, which is the maintenance and stuff. We had an A service done this year, which is detailed in here, so that's just filters and whatever, and the paperwork's in here. So the invoice for that was, to carry out an A service, was £266, and that gave me a new filter, new gasket, and a full set of oil. So yeah, new oil filter, gasket and drain plug, and yeah, some synthetic oil. So £266 including labour and VAT, which isn't terrible. We also had an MOT done by Lotus Silverstone because we bought the car from them. I thought, because it had an MOT guarantee, if I took it back to them and there were any issues, then they'd all be able to sort it. So they charge you £45 for the MOT, but then they also give you £22 charge to just take it round the corner to the MOT centre. Bit cheeky, but it is what it is. In some of the footage in previous videos, you will have noticed that the centre cap on this rear wheel was missing, so I ordered a new one of those. Genuine one from Lotus was £14.70. And in the inspection, it was picked up that the AC wasn't working very well, and the front wheel arches had some damage in, so I've subsequently purchased new front wheel arch parts. They were £122 each, and they're currently sitting in the garage awaiting fitment, so I'll do that maybe once the season ends, sort of thing, when there's a bit of a winter restoration to do on the vehicle. And we also got the aircon tested and regassed. So it was tested, that was a £55 operation. It was an hour's labour for the time and the test equipment. It came back as there being no leaks whatsoever, so when they regassed it, the amount of gas that came out versus the amount of gas that went in was about 20 grams difference, so they wrote the cost of regassing off, so that didn't cost me any money. So for the aircon regas and the pressure test was only £55. So all in all this year it's been pretty good really in terms of reliability and maintenance. Obviously we've had the wheel cap lost and we had the subjective diagnosis of the AC, but that's only ended up costing about 65 quid. So yeah, it's not too bad actually. Next year obviously we get a B service and then the costs start incrementing and things like that. So and we'll see what else goes wrong with it, but so far she's been pretty reliable. And finally we get on to section 3, which is miscellaneous costs and additional purchases. So the first thing that I wanted to highlight is that when I first picked up the car, I bought the Lotus official outdoor car cover, as I knew that I didn't have a garage or somewhere to put it, and because it was going to live outside, and these cars are not known for being the most watertight, I bought the outdoor car cover, which the invoice is here, and that came in at £550 including the VAT. You will also notice that the car cover broke in a storm last year, so Lotus replaced that under warranty, so I have a brand new one that's never been used upstairs because the car cover got saturated with dirt and things like that, and it used to wet out, and I was worried about getting fiberglass damage for the water being sat there for so long, so I actually replaced it with a carcoon, which you've seen in some of the static shots, which was miles better. That cost about £650 including VAT. I'll double check the invoice, which is upstairs. And then we move on to the exhaust. So as some of you will know if you've been following the channel for a little bit, there's a video about an upgrade that I made to the car, which is the tubular exhaust, which is featured here. This exhaust cost at the time, I think, about £698. I think it's gone up by about 100 quid. It's detailed in my review of this exhaust, but yeah, this is by far the best money I've spent on this car. It's absolutely transformed the experience. I highly recommend anyone who has a Series 3 Elise S or 220 or S Cup or whatever to get in touch with Jim and get this exhaust for your car, because it just makes the car absolutely spot on. Okay everyone, so that is it for today. It's a short video but hopefully reasonably insightful. I did go and grab the invoice for the carcoon, and that came to £604.28 including the VAT, so that brings our running total to run one of these cars for a year, with all the additional expenses, so you know, the car cover, the exhaust and the second car storage covered thing, you know, made up nearly £2,000 of the cost of ownership. So you know, if you have a garage already, then you can knock nearly £2,000 off that. But in my case, the total cost to own this Lotus Elise for a year has been £3,890.32. That is excluding fuel costs as well, and fuel has been pretty good. Obviously the fuel prices have fluctuated and things like that, but this is an occasional use car. I've done 2,500 miles in this car. I'd say averaging high 20s in terms of miles per gallon. On a run you can get north of 40, I think, but yeah, it's hard to determine because on the trip computer all you get is a fuel bar. It doesn't tell you how many miles of range you've got or anything like that, so you have to work it out manually. But yeah, it's not been too bad on fuel actually, even when you are driving enthusiastically. So when we do these club runs, then you know, you only end up using about a quarter of a tank doing 100 miles or something like that. So yeah, it's been pretty good. Oh, and that is one additional cost as well, is MLOC membership was £12 for the year. So yeah, obviously I include that in the miscellaneous cost because that has heightened the ownership experience for me, being able to share the passion and meet other people as well. So that was £12 to join the forum and give some support. So I hope you've all enjoyed this insightful video into Lotus Elise ownership. If you have, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you for the next one. And as of right now, I actually have no idea what the next video is going to be, so I'd quite like to do some more reviews on some different cars, but I also had an idea for a series where we almost interview people from the Lotus Club about their car, why they love it, what makes Lotus special to them, and blah blah blah. Almost do like a members ride series. I think that would be quite cool. But I need to, need to stick the feelers out and see what the people on the forum are feeling about that sort of thing. So yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.